Yo YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to try something different, something new. I want to start doing more football content. So in the background, you're going to see some Ultimate Team, just some gameplay, but we're going to kind of cover the Premier League this season, this weekend, just some of the games and just my thoughts. Listen, I'm not a football expert, I'm just a fan, and I wanted to share my opinion. So you sit back, relax, and let's go through. We're going to cover some games that I was watching, but the biggest topic is going to be Manchester United, Liverpool. The way I want to do this is every week, do like a weekly roundup of the games, but really focus on my team, which is Manchester United. So let's start off with a couple of the games that I was watching, because I watched about 4 or 5 games this weekend, and they were kind of interesting ones. So starting off with Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. This was a Saturday 12:30 kickoff. Really interesting game. I do at the start, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like with Chelsea, they made a lot of mistakes at the start that I think gave Nottingham Forest an actual chance. Obviously, we know after the game, Big Ange did get sacked as well, which I kind of want to talk on as well. But the star man for me was Neto with a goal and an assist when he came on. He did a great job getting that goal, getting that assist as well. So I do feel like Chelsea obviously deserved the win. Reece James with the goal as well. As soon as the first goal went in, I just feel like Nottingham Forest kind of just they collapsed. I really do. I feel like they collapsed on the spot. At the start, I think Gibbs White had a couple of opportunities. And one thing I've noticed about Chelsea, even against us as well, I feel like a lot of their problems comes down to their mistakes rather than the other team outplaying them. Whenever I watch them this season, even Fulham, that game was an interesting one as well, because I feel like you can get out this Chelsea squad, this team. Obviously, they had a phenomenal game at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool where they managed to get a win there. Again, great result. But I feel like with Chelsea right now, there are a couple of key signings away from being an actual decent team. I really believe that. But right now, I do look at this team like I think they'll be in the top 4 race for sure. But I think they're a little bit short of the title race, to be honest with you. I feel like they're just like a tier below the Arsenal, Liverpool and City. I feel like they're kind of in their own bubble right now. And again, maybe another summer goes by, they get a bit more experience. But the way the current model works, the way they're recruiting people, I just don't think I never take them as like, okay, these guys can really, turn up here. Like, even like getting Garnacho in and stuff, like they had so many players of that profile. And as a United fan, obviously watching Garnacho, he was very wasteful. I did think he would do better at Chelsea than he has. He even got hooked at halftime. Didn't really create much. I thought he'll do better there, to be honest with you, in a different environment, but there's something, he's got an arrogance problem, he's got an attitude problem, and I just feel like in that team, you need some leadership. You've got so many young players, so many talented players coming in, like I remember Thiago Silva when they signed him. That's the type of signing they need. That's what, they won the Champions League that year. Like, that's the type of signings I thought they were going to go for, those experienced players that, just kind of get through the games, game management and stuff, but I don't think they really have that right now. Even if you look at their squad, it's a very young squad in comparison. There's not much experience there compared to what they've had in the past. So that's what we'll say about Chelsea. In terms of Nottingham Forest, again, since the Nuno sacking, I just feel like since then there's been so much going on politically in terms of in the club, with the owners, the fans, the managers, so much going on right now. And I do feel bad for Ange, because he's only had a limited amount of time there, and I feel like that job was that type of job. I feel like going there as someone like Ange, it just made no sense to me. That's the type of job you go to if you're like those survival managers, bro. Those Moyes, those Hodgsons, like those type of managers, they come in the Sean Dyche where they're gonna just keep you in the league, right? But Nottingham Forest were different because they're still in, they're in Europe as well, so they're in a weird spot where they went through this transition stage after losing their manager, and then Ange comes in mid-season at the start, like the very start of the season, with no preseason, and it felt like everyone knew what was going to happen with this, and I feel like it just did no good for him. So now it'll be interesting in who they appoint and what goes forward, but I think that was a weird one, to be honest with you, with the Nottingham Forest situation, and I do feel bad for him, like I said. But yeah, the game was interesting. It was a good game. I think they had some chances at the start. Gibbs White had a couple of chances as well. I think they could have really made something from that, but yeah, Chelsea managed to get away with that one. The next one was Brighton and Newcastle. I didn't quite manage to watch this full game. I watched the highlights though. Big Daddy Welbeck with a brace, and what a goal from Walter made, by the way. Oh my god, if you guys saw that goal, incredible. There was a lot of I would say goal of the weekend contenders. I think his one for me was my favorite until the Aston Villa game. I'm still deciding. I think I want to do that as well, a little reward for, just for my goal of the weekend. But yeah, Welbeck with a great brace. Good game again. Didn't watch that one, managed to pick up the highlights. But yeah, from what I saw, it was a very end-to-end game, looked very interesting. Then we go over to Burnley Leeds, didn't quite catch that at all. Crystal Palace Bournemouth, what a game as well, bro. Mateta as well. almost got, if you guys saw the last minute, that would have been insane. It would have been insane. These are all the 3 p.m. kickoffs. I didn't get a chance to watch them, but I managed to watch all the highlights for the 3 p.m. ones. But that Mateta performance, getting a hat-trick, is crazy, by the way. Like, that was incredible. Semenyo, he's obviously still doing his thing at Bournemouth. That guy is also an incredible player. But yeah, Palace, I mean, they went 2-0 down, brought it back, then somehow managed to go up, and then, you know, last minute almost had that goal. So yeah, back and forward game. I think Krupi, I don't know if it was his debut or something like that, but yeah, big brace from him as well. I think it was a really interesting game to watch there, man. 3-3 was definitely an insane result, but if Mateta got the fourth, that would have been incredible, man. I felt bad because he had such a good game, and then to kind of sky it at the end like that was so unlucky, because like scoring a hat-trick, you don't expect someone to miss that. If you guys didn't see, it was a sitter, man. It was in the box, literally so close to goal. He just skied the last shot after scoring a hat-trick. So that would have been crazy to get the 3 points after going 2-0 down and getting 4 goals. That would have been his weekend. Then we go to City Everton. Again, didn't watch that, but this man Haaland, this guy is single-handedly carrying this team right now to just get to the new level. One thing I noticed about Haaland this season, I saw it at the start of the season, right, was you look at last year and the year, like Haaland in like the treble winning year, right? Everyone's criticism of Haaland is like, he doesn't get involved. He's a real kind of poacher. He's in and around the box. He just gets the final ball in, right? That's his job. He'll have 5 touches and 2 goals. That's kind of a Haaland thing, right? Where he doesn't get involved. The game comes to him. Everything goes around him. I feel like this season and you know, more last season as well, I feel like he's starting to get a bit more involved. I think, obviously I don't talk to Haaland, but from what it looks like he's realized, like, okay, this team right now, we're in a developing phase. We have a lot more younger players. We've got, you know, Doku, Savinho. We've got, you know, Reinders is coming. He's been amazing as well. But we've got like Cherky. We've got Marmoush. We've got more developing players. We don't have what we had before. Before we had Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez. We had Gundogan. We had more developed players, right? Where they could do more of the playing, the building up. And Haaland was just there, ready. They had Grealish, they had Mahrez in the treble season. They had, even before that, they had like Sane, Sterling. Like, they've had so many of these more experienced players, and they dominated the ball, and there were just chances after chances, and Haaland would just bury everything, right? But we don't have that anymore. We don't have the De Bruynes. We don't have that anymore. So we have a different style of players that, you know, are starting to develop. And I think what Haaland's realized is he needs to be more involved. And I feel like he's had an incredible start to the season. He has 11 Premier League goals, by the way. 11 Premier League goals in 8 games. I want to open up the Premier League stats for a second, because I was having a look at the team stats. Yeah, so the top 5 goal scorers right now, well, let's say top 3. Haaland on 11, Semenyo on 6, and Mateta on 5, who just got a hat-trick. Imagine that, 11 goals already. That is something else, man. That truly is incredible. So he's absolutely taken over right now. And you know, City are still in this title race, man. Because obviously Liverpool lost a couple of points in a row. Arsenal is still there, so it's interesting, man. It's looking very interesting as a United fan. The top 3, the way they're kind of battling it out. Then we go to Sunderland, Wolverhampton. Didn't watch any of that, so I'm not going to comment on that at all. Then we go across Fulham, Arsenal. I did watch this game. To be fair, I was on my Arsenal hate watch. I'm not going to lie to you, but once again, they powered through it, man. Another set piece, another goal from Trossard, who just seems to be getting those clutch goals. But the man who impressed me the most, to be honest with you, was Saka. He impressed me a lot, man. When I watch Saka, like, he consistently drives the ball forward. He was creating the most opportunities. To be fair, Gyökeres, man, I feel like he had a couple of opportunities, and I like the way he played as well, man. I feel like there was a lot of passes into Gyökeres where he used his strength. He kind of shielded the ball a little bit, he held it on, took a heavy touch, and then took those shots. And I feel like that worked a bit more in Portugal, that kind of play style where he was able to like just show the ball, use his strength, go through, because the quality of defenders maybe won as well, the pacing of the game. But I think I know he's not getting the goals that people want right now, but I think he's doing fine, man. I really do. And you know, they had a good performance, man, and it's frustrating seeing that they keep winning from these set pieces, but they're getting the job done, man. They really are, bro. You watch them, they're just getting the job done every single time. They're getting the job done. They're going through, they're just doing business. You know what I'm saying? It looked like, yeah, it was, you know, it was a 1-0 game, but it was a comfortable 1-0. It didn't look like it was a stressful 1-0, to be honest with you. They had 63% possession. They had expected goals. They had XG of 2, where Fulham had XG of 0.5. They had 16 big shots, 3 big chances. It was just a standard performance from them. Eze starts, Marino comes on for Eze. They got Martinelli for Trossard. it was a good performance. If you're Arsenal, you get 3 points on the board, you move on. And that's one thing about them. They're just hard to beat. I don't think Raya had to do anything that game, to be honest with you. There was nothing they had to do. Fulham didn't really pose much of a goal threat. And to be honest with you, it was just an easy performance, man. And like I said, for me, man of the match was definitely Saka. I think he just had a great game. He had a great game. He was a standout for me. And then we move over and they're sitting on the top of the league. Then we have Tottenham versus Aston Villa. Again, I was watching this game. I was kind of neutral. Didn't really care who wins this one. I was just watching it for entertainment. I did see, Tottenham really start there. Bentancur gets a goal in the 5th minute. And I was like, all right, we're on to sign here, man. We're going to go through it. And then Kudus with another amazing opportunity, just offside. But I thought that was going to, when that went in, I was like, oh, damn, 2-0. This one's over. But moment of brilliance. And that's what kind of defined this game. There was 2 moments of brilliance. 2 moments of brilliance. First was Rodgers' goal. Incredible. The way he took that shot. And Rodgers is someone, I mean, at the start of this season, I had, just as a side note in my FPL, I had like Watkins, I had Rodgers. I was like, look, these guys, they're going to be banging in the goals. And you guys know, Aston Villa just hadn't performed this year. It's been a really, really weird start to the season for Villa. So this win was massive. It really was massive. When you look at this, look at their form as well, man. Villa are starting to step up a little bit. They've won, I believe, the last 4 games as well. I've got it actually here. They beat, where is it? Was that coming into this? I think it was. Yeah, so they beat Burnley, they beat Feyenoord, they beat Fulham, they beat Bologna, and they drew to Sunderland. So their form was actually decent going into this. Spurs had a lot of draws recently. They just beat Leeds last week. So Spurs' form was still okay. They haven't been beaten in 5. But going into this game here, yeah, I think if you're a Spurs fan, you're going to be kicking yourself a little bit. I feel like you just look at that, like, where are they on the table right now? Let me have a look. So Spurs are currently 6th on the table, exact same points as Chelsea. But I really look at that as like, that's 3 points dropped, man. I really do. Even a draw would have been whatever, but like, you're so close to top 4 right now. You're in and about. You would have been on the same points as Liverpool with a draw. If they won that game, they would have been 2nd in the league, just behind Arsenal. And I'm not expecting Spurs to win the league, right? But I just feel like those games later on the season, you're going to be kicking yourself. Like 1-0 up against a Villa team that was struggling to get a lot of goals, to concede 2 goals like that. But the second goal, I have to say, goal of the weekend for me. What a goal. It was incredible. That second goal from Buendia, insane. It starts off with Cash. That volley, little volley to the right hand side, beautiful, goes to Digne with a little flick over his shoulder. It was like a FIFA goal. It was unbelievable. I couldn't do that if I tried in FIFA against the computers. So much class on that set, just that play. It was amazing. The first ball over was fantastic. The touch from Digne going back, then the assist across. It was great. It was a really, really good goal. And at the end of the day, I feel like it was a good result. Definitely deserved one. It wasn't too many chances in the game, but hey, Villa did their thing, man. And if you're Spurs, like I said, I think you're going to be a little bit annoyed, man. You're going to be a little bit annoyed at that. But yeah, then we move on to the next game, and this was the game of the weekend for me. I was tied to my sofa, ready, locked in, and I was stressful. Liverpool versus Manchester United. I was actually with family during this game because we had a birthday, and I was watching it with a Liverpool fan, and it was stressful, man. But this is what I want to talk about the most. Okay. The way I'm going to do this is take a second. I'm gonna take a breathe. Let me get some water. Let me take some water. Let me really think about this game here. And what we're gonna do for this game is actually gonna switch over screens. So because we're gonna cover football right now, we're gonna have a look at the screen, and we're really gonna focus on this graphic here because it's gonna show the lineup and everything from there. So give me a second and we'll focus on it. Right, got my water. By the way, let me know if you guys like this type of content, and also like in the first 13 minutes you had gameplay. Do you want to see more gameplay, or do you like it like this? Because that's how I was getting all the stats from. I just opened the tabs, had basically all the results and stuff, and from there I was able to just go through it. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys like that, let me know. Or do you prefer just having gameplay in the back and me just looking through? But let's go through. Let's talk about it. Okay. This is why I'm thinking as well, like, just go through a deep dive of the weekend, the games that I watched. If I didn't watch a game, I'm just going to hover over it because I'm not trying to tell you guys fake stuff that I don't know. Like, for example, like, I did not watch the Burnley Leeds. I'm not going to just watch it and say, oh, yes, it looked like... No, I want to just be honest because I'm not trying to be a football expert. I'm literally just telling you guys what I know, and that's all. And just my opinion, because I love watching football content. So I was like, I kind of want to do some myself. That's all it is, to be honest with you. So... this game, okay. Starting off with the lineup. When I saw this lineup, what was I expecting? I was expecting Sesko to start. I was worried though, and this is what I was worried about. I thought Mason Mount was guaranteed. I think his work rate dropping into the midfield, I just knew he would start. This is the type of game that I can definitely see him start. We're not setting up to go all-out attack against the Liverpool side where we're ready to give up possession and kind of hit them on the counter. So I did definitely feel like there was going to be an opportunity for Mason Mount to start. I was a little bit worried that Cunha wouldn't start and Sesko would. So I thought it was going to be Sesko there and Mbeumo and Mount. So I was happy to see Cunha start, even if it was dropping Sesko. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Sesko, but for me, it was never Sesko or Mount. It was always Sesko or Cunha in this type of game. Against, for example, this weekend, we have a Brighton. I absolutely want to see Cunha there and Sesko start. That's when we get our front three, our new signings. In this type of game against Liverpool, I think we're always going to get a Mason Mount, that kind of engine in the midfield, just to drop deep and kind of help Casemiro and Bruno into a bit of a three. So I always knew that was going to be the case. So I was okay with that. In terms of fullbacks, I was surprised to see Ahmad start, if I'm being honest with you. I thought it would be Dalot on the right, Dorgu on the left, go from there. I was actually pleasantly surprised to see Ahmad start. In this type of game, I thought he was going to just go straight for the defensive fullback, sit in a back five, and go from there. I also thought Euro would start. I was a bit disappointed that Euro wasn't starting, but the manager got it right. Manager got it right. In terms of midfield, of course, this was the midfield I expected. I looked at the Liverpool side, exact same team against Chelsea. I was a bit worried, to be honest with you. I would have preferred Wirtz starting from a United's perspective because I feel like they had less balance. This is the midfield from last year that they won the league in. I was a bit more worried. I didn't really expect Bradley to start. I thought maybe, but I knew they had their problems there as well. Kirkers, I knew would start. Again, problems there. But overall, man, I think lacking Alisson was definitely a big thing for us as well. Alisson being injured, Isak starting. I was like, Isak and Salah, both of them not having the season of start like that they expected. So I wasn't as scared as I normally would be. Going through our team now in terms of the way the game went, how I felt about it. I want to do another video of like 5 things I learned from this game as a United perspective. But this is just an overall thoughts of the game. Like, I think the game plan went perfectly. And bro, Mbeumo, man, I am so happy with Mbeumo. Like, just the season he's having already, it's just been incredible, man. Where is it? Where is it? I want to see the minutes. There you go. Does it show the minute? I think I'm pretty sure it shows the minutes of stuff. There you go, right there. So we start and look at the kind of the events of the game, right? Like 2 minutes in, and Mbeumo scores. That just sets the game up. It just sets the game up so nicely. It's still the exact same game now, but we have a lifeline. I feel like at 0-0, the game would have played the same way. But the only difference is, if they score the first goal, it's almost impossible for us to get back in. I feel like that was a big thing about this game. Like, getting that first goal gave us a lifeline because we never went down in this game. I feel like going down against Anfield, it would have been almost impossible. Even when the game went level, because we weren't down, it felt okay. The game was end to end. They had to go for the winner, right? So it just completely changed the game. Us, after 2 minutes, getting that goal. And even the goal itself. I mean, the long ball from Lamins goes across there, and Mbeumo wins a second ball. People saying the head injury from McAllister, but bro, Van Dijk's the one who basically elbowed him, goes through, and Mbeumo goes across. What a finish. Exactly the same kind of space in behind that we had at Chelsea as well. And Mbeumo, man, you can say what you want about this man. He is unbelievable. Against Chelsea and Liverpool, 2 games where we got the win, he was vital. He got that opening goal. Against Chelsea, he got the penalty, which made it 10-11, got the first goal. It was so decisive from him. Same thing here, starting off like a rocket, and I mean, unbelievable. Cunha, and not getting a goal and assist, but the way this man plays, he gets me excited every time I watch Cunha. He's so unpredictable, and he adds that flair to the team, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, overall, I mean, the performance was, I didn't care. Before the game, I didn't care. I was expecting at best a point. I was hoping in a world of miracles we can somehow get a 3, but it was just deluded me. I'm always positive and optimistic, and it was just like, oh, hopefully one day we get 3, but it wasn't possible in my head realistically. You know, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on it. But I was pleasantly surprised. In terms of standout performers, Ahmad as a right wing back, I think the reason why I'm so happy with him is because I think he was man of the match in the first half. I really do. I actually thought that, let me look at the subs as well and the timings, because let me see what I would have done a little bit differently, right? So if you look here, like the first sub, Ugarte for Casemiro, this is where I would have loved Kobe Mainoo to come on. Instead of Ugarte, like, I don't mind Mainoo not starting, because I'm okay with Casemiro getting an hour. But like, for me personally, that's where I'm bringing Mainoo on. Like, I just don't like the world where Mainoo is after Ugarte. I don't need Mainoo to start, but bro, Mainoo comes on here, I'm okay with that. Give him 30 minutes in this fixture, bro. He's won it before there. He was an FA Cup final. Like he's good, bro. He's got the experience. Bring him in. Like we bring Maino in there. I think you bring Ugarte in there and you bring Maino in there. That's the only change I'd make so far. Dorgu as well. I didn't mind Dorgu for Ahmad. I probably would have preferred Dorgu on the left for Dalot. I don't think Dalot had a good game. And then, so those two changes I would have done a little bit differently. Sesko for Mount, I think is a perfect substitution in the perfect time. It really is. Then you see Liverpool's changes. They bring Curtis Jones on, they bring Wirtz on, they bring Ekatike on, they bring Chiesa on. They're just changing the whole shape. They're just really trying to get at it. Really trying to get at it. I thought, maybe I'm confused, wasn't? Oh yeah, that's 10 minutes later. I was going to say, like, I'm pretty sure Ekatike and Isaac were playing at the same time. Yeah, that's 10 minutes difference. So they were really going for it. Then they get the goal. And 6 minutes later, we get the Harry Maguire goal. So that's 6 minutes of just tension building up. And I'm so glad we went on the front foot there, because if the pressure went against us, it would have been scary. And to be honest with you, they were going, man. They were really throwing the kitchen sink at it. They had Gakpo hit the post 3 times. Salah with an insane miss. They had chances. They really did. Isaac, what a double save as well from Lemons, by the way. I think Isaac could have done better there. What a save from Lemons there. Then they go across, and you see we're just shoring off the game right now. Euro coming on for Shaw, Maino for Bruno, sit back, 5 minutes late, stay tight, another 8 minutes, we had about 30 minutes to defend there, did a great job, but we managed to get the win. What does this mean for our season? I mean, again, I'm going to do a 5-point review on United, but like I said, standout performance. I mean, Maguire, what a performance from him. I didn't want him to start, but what a performance. The leadership, I think him and De Ligt did great at the back. I think Shaw just kind of, he did okay, nothing great, nothing bad. He was okay. I didn't mind Shaw. I think recent performances, he's been absolutely spun by Salah in this exact same fixture. So I think for this game, he didn't do a lot. He was just unnoticed, which I think is fine. Dalot, I know he got a 7.4, but I think he was one of the probably our worst performer in my opinion. I didn't like his play at all that game. I think it was really poor. Ahmad, like I said, the reason I mentioned Ahmad is because this game was so big for me, because in the past with Amrin, you wouldn't see Ahmad start this game. You wouldn't see Ahmad start this game as a wing back for sure. Would absolutely be like Mazraoui and Dalot, or Dalot and Dorgu. And I like Dorgu on the left, man. So I was expecting Dalot on the right, Dorgu on the left. I was pleasantly surprised to see Ahmad, because he offers that attacking outlet, but I think his discipline defensively I was so happy, man. I was so happy for him, because first of all, that pass to Mbeumo for the assist, you know you're getting that from him. I was more impressed with his defensive performance, to be honest with you. How old is he? 23. So you look at this squad right here as well, like he's the youngest on this team, him and Lamens, and I just feel like if he could develop that right hand side, bro, his relationship with Mbeumo on the right hand side is going to be so deadly. Like I love that relationship forming already, and I'm so happy the way the season's going. And I know that sounds silly as a United fan, there's a lot of fans not happy, but when you compare it to last season, like I really feel like it's completely different, man. I really do. And I'm not expecting us to win anything or win the league or be crazy, but I really do think we can fight and really fight for that Champions League spot. And the amount of people I said, like, you know, look how far they've fallen. They're settling for Champions League. It's like, no, we can't be deluded, because that's what's got us here. For 10 years thinking, oh, we're United, we deserve to win the league. That entitlement is the reason why we failed so bad. Like, we need to be humble and realize where we are as a team and take each game as it is and just show the fight and just be under the radar. Just be under the radar, get your 3 points, keep going, have a fight. Like, having a game like this means nothing if we go and lose to Brighton. It means absolutely nothing. It really does. You look over here, okay? You look over here. We beat Burnley, struggled, gets smacked up by City. Okay, we beat Chelsea, get smacked up by Brentford. So we have a flip-flop. We can't keep having that. There has to be more greens. There has to be more consistency. We're winning, we're winning, losing. Now we get another win under our belt. We're like, okay, this was the game. If we look at the pattern, this was the game we get slapped. Liverpool, this was the game. If you look at this, there's another world where we lose. It's United. So Liverpool here, 5, United 0. There's a world where that's a thing, right? The way we were last season and the season before, we get slapped out. Last season was fine, but in general, like, you could see this being a different video where we're like, okay, we need to bounce back. This Brighton game, again, we need to bounce back with a win. But somehow, some way, we managed to beat Liverpool. It means nothing if we lose to Brighton. This is gonna be super important, but the confidence we have now, the confidence we have of beating them is something we need to work on. They just beat Newcastle, they drew to Wolves, they beat Chelsea, they smacked Barnsley, they drew to Tottenham. They've had decent form, but we just beat Liverpool. To beat Liverpool away from home, we need to do better. We're at Old Trafford, we're back at home, we beat Sunderland there last time, we beat Chelsea there last time, we're 2 games in a row at home unbeaten. We have finally stringed an away win. This has to be it. We need to get a win, get another 3 points. If we look at the table, it's not looking too bad now. Let's just say we win the table. We are going to be on 16 points, okay? Of course, you're going to have City playing, Liverpool, whatever, right? But let's just say one of these teams drop points. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Chelsea drop points or Liverpool drop points. Let's just let Liverpool draw, right? We will be on the same points as Liverpool after 9 games. This is why I think people need to just relax. The season's so early. We've only played 8 games. The table doesn't mean too much. It does, but it doesn't. You need to just chill. We need to just have some more consistency. Look at Arsenal, look at City, just consistency. That's what we need to bring right now. So I'm so happy with what happened. I'm super excited with the performance. So many positive things to take away. Another shout out, by the way, Lamens. I was like, one thing I don't want to do, okay? I think where people go wrong is when they compare their players to other players. I'm not sitting here to say Mbeumo versus Isaac, Cunha versus Isaac, who's a better signing, Sesko versus Gyökeres. I think those arguments are silly because you're looking at different systems. They obviously are fun as fans to look at, but they don't really mean anything. We're looking at completely different systems. What I'm looking at is my own team. And when I look at Lamens here, what a performance. He didn't do anything crazy like a De Gea against Arsenal at the Emirates a few years ago. But what he did was such a step up from what we've had with Bayinda and Onana. He felt composed. He felt like he had years of experience. And if you look right here at his age, the man is 23 years old. He's younger than me. I'm 25 and I'm making videos on an FC channel. There's difference. There's levels to this game. This man is 23 years old. The composure he had was unbelievable. It felt like I felt like the defense were reassured by him, and I loved that. I absolutely loved that. And like I said, it was just so good to see, man. It was so good to see. Cunha as well, considering he hasn't scored or had an assist this whole season, he's been one of my favorite players. The excitement I get when he gets the ball is unmatched, and it's gonna be it's going to be soon. He's going to start getting his goals, start getting his assists, and he's going to take off. But I mean, I think player of the season for me is De Ligt or Mbeumo. Mbeumo has been so good to watch as well. He's brought that flair, and every time we go to these big games where we're sitting back, last year we didn't have that outlet. We had more wasteful players. We had the Rashford, Garnacho. Like we were disappointed with like it didn't look like they wanted to be there at times. There was just so many other issues with confidence and stuff like that. But with Mbeumo and Cunha, it's such a breath of fresh air. When I see Mbeumo, I don't look at that I look at like an actual world-class player, in my opinion. I love Mbeumo. He's so good. He's so class in terms of the way he just drives at defenders, the pace he offers. I can imagine the other defenders being scared against Mbeumo. The pace he offers, you can get him behind. And when we sit deep with our 5 at the back, and we have a Bruno Fernandes who can make that through ball, you have Ahmad with those passes, you have a danger, you have an outlet. And Sesko coming on as well. The shape completely changes on set pieces. We have more of a physical presence. We've got Maguire, De Ligt, we have Sesko. We have such a big team as well at certain set pieces. Even Dorgu's quite a unit. And I just feel like we have different ways of winning the game now. But like I said, it means nothing if we don't beat Brighton. So we need to perform against Brighton on Saturday. I'm going to be so excited for that game. And this week we can just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the rest of the week. We got Champions League football tomorrow. I might do a similar thing like this tomorrow, man, because I'm gonna watch some of the Champions League game. That'll be fun. In terms of Liverpool now, just a brief one. It's weird, man. Taking my bias away, because obviously I'm a United fan, not like Liverpool, but I think Slaughter's got a big job ahead of him, because when you have this many players that are on this big signings and stuff like that, like, it's super hard to know what to do. And what I mean by that is there's a world where you drop Salah, you change your system, you try Ekitike and Isaac. There's also a world where you change the formation, when you get Wirtz and Ekitike in for Gakpo and Salah, you go more of a narrow situation, maybe like change your system completely. In a weird world, right? In a weird world, I'm gonna try something here. I'm just gonna show you guys something. Don't kill me. I'm just gonna show you guys something. This is, again, thinking out loud. But like, when I look at your players like Frimpong, Wirtz, the system right now, it feels like we have too many different types of players system. It just doesn't look like it works. And even like, if we actually look at the season, let's actually look at Liverpool, because the first 5 games you guys won, right? Every single game I watched, I was like, they probably should have lost. They probably should have lost. They probably should have lost. And everyone's like, but we won, but we won, but we won. It's like, yes, but it's like, they didn't look like they should have won. And like, even if I look at the games that they did lose, bro, let's look at it from, where is it from? First match was against Bournemouth. Opening day of the season. Where is it? Where is it? That's club friendlies. Let's go to the Premier League. There you go. Okay. So first game, you get Palace. They lose in the Community Shield to start the season, okay? 4-2. If you guys remember, it was actually 2-2 at the end they conceded. But that was even the first game. We're like, whoa, what's going on there? They conceded 2 already at Anfield. Like, it felt weird. It did feel weird already off the break there. They were 2-0 up, and then they got countered. We were like, relax. It's first game of the season. They managed to clutch up. And I think one part of it was the aura from last year. I know aura is a weird word to use here, but I do feel like having that champion aura of like, I think Carragher said this, and I really thought it was an interesting point of like, they kind of have that shield of, we're Liverpool. You can't like fuck with us. We're Liverpool from like, we won the league. And then it's like, as soon as they got that first loss, you see the spiral effect. Like, oh, guys, we can beat them. But if you look at it, 4-2, looks better than it was. That was a scrappy one. If you actually look at it, I'm pretty sure they conceded and like, there was a loss in the last, like, when was it go? There you go, look at that. So it was actually 2-2. 88th minute Keita scored. So it wasn't like dominating performance. And not one of their games felt like that. Like it was like, oh, we're doing great. Then you have 2-3 again, last minute from Rio, literally last minute. Szoboszlai free kick against Arsenal, legit last few minutes. Even against Burnley, again, in a one-off fixture, you look at that and say, yo, what a performance we win it. 95th minute penalty. So if you look at that as well, you say, oh, scrappy win, that's a title winner. Look at this. That's a good performance in isolation, but not when it's a common theme. Not when you've only won after the 88th minute in almost every single game. Atletico Madrid. Again, I think this was a Van Dijk header from my memory. Let me see. Look at that. Van Dijk, 92nd minute. Again, going 2-0 up. Going 2-0 up and then conceding 2. Again, keeps on happening. Stuff like this keeps on happening. Everton, again, I'm pretty sure this was a last minute winner. Okay, that one's actually okay. No, this was the one time it wasn't a last minute winner. I thought it was again. But we're good. We got away with it here. And then we go through again. Ekitike, 85th minute in the EFL Cup. And then he got his red card for taking a stop off. Again, all these performances you look at, and because you win, you can go through it. Then Palace, they lose in the 90th minute. And then as soon as that happened, boom, Galatasaray, 1-0, Chelsea, last minute, Liverpool, United, last 5 minutes. They just went on a massive downfall. So I just feel like when you look at this team, the problems were from the start, and it took them so long that this is why if I was a Liverpool fan, I would be worried, because in a perfect situation, right, in a perfect world, you look at it from here. Let's look at the date, 15th of August, okay? So you look all the way from there. I mean, I don't think the performances got better. For 6 weeks, I don't think the performances got better. The results were just amazing. So you look at that, and then from the 27th of September now to basically today, so the next 4 weeks, the performances were the same, but the results got worse. So I just feel like from the start of August to now, you look at, I don't even know if he still knows his best lineup. And that's what's a bit worrying if I'm a Liverpool fan, because we're in the thick of the season now. We're in the season. We're 10 games in, We're in Europe. We're in the competition. Like, we're in the season now. It's not the first 2 games. Like, look at the games we got, bro. Got coming up soon for them, man. After, literally in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we've got Real Madrid and then City back to back. And it's like, you need to not only win these games, a couple of these games, I think the performance needs to change. I really do. I think these 4 games, it can't be like what we had. It can't be 1-0 88th minute. It can't be 2-1 90th minute, 3-2. Like, it has to be better. There has to be some 2-0s in there. There has to be some clean sheets. There has to be some composure, some game control. It has to be a clean game. If anything, you look at the Everton game. It has to be like the Everton game, but even that conceding the goal and they're on edge, it has to be more smooth than that. Because if you then go play against Real Madrid and City while also being on bad form, and then it just spirals, and then it's just, confidence is so big, man. And people that don't think confidence is big, look at Mohamed Salah. Look at Mohamed Salah. The amount of chances he's had where I feel bad for him, man. I always feel bad for him because I'm looking at him like, bro, his confidence just isn't there this season. The amount, bro, this game, if this was 2 years ago, forget his physical body, because it hasn't declined as much, right? In terms of his actual, just his confidence and technique on the ball last year, he scores yesterday. The one chance he has, he scores. He skied it. He messed that one up. The one against Chelsea where Wirtz had an amazing ball in, he gets that. This Salah is not the same, man. The confidence is not there. Like, they look vulnerable at the back. Teams are getting at them, and this game against United was not helpful for them. It really wasn't. It's just going to make them look even more vulnerable. Last season, they were, you know, Arsenal behind them. Arsenal had to chase them. The pressure was on Arsenal. This year, it shifted. This year, every single game that goes by, you're looking at the table and let me go through the table. You're looking at the table and you're kind of like, they're putting some pressure, man. Arsenal are 4 points clear now of Liverpool. They're putting some gap there. And if you look at it, the crazy thing is, Liverpool have beat Arsenal this season. So that's 3 points they took from Arsenal. And they're still 4 points behind them. You got to look at that, man. If you're Liverpool, man, it just needs to be better. It needs to be better. It needs to be now. I've seen people say, oh, the league's over. We need to relax, man. We're too early, bro. We're too early to say anything. Right now, you can't take too much besides the obvious. Like, you could say, fine, I don't think Wolves are going to win the league. Do you know what I'm saying? Fine, I don't think Arsenal get relegated. Like, you can say the obvious. The table is shaping up a little bit, but nowhere near enough to say anything. Because, for example, we are now 9th. In 2 games, we could get 6 points, or we could not move, and all these teams could leapfrog us. We could end up being 13th, 14th. Like, we can't say much right now. You just have to chill. For example, Sunderland, like, what a start to the season. They're on 14 points. I don't think they'll finish there. Like, things are going to change, man. We got to just chill, see what happens. But Bournemouth, shout out to Bournemouth as well, man. Sitting 3rd, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Again, can they keep it up? We'll see, man. They've only lost 1 in 8, man. That's incredible. But yeah, we'll go from there. That was a nice little weekend review. Like I said, I'm not a football expert. I'm just trying to have some fun, talk football because I enjoy it. So maybe every Monday we have a little catch up, man. Maybe Mondays we just have a catch up and talk about the weekend. And if I watch the games, I'll talk about them. If I don't, I don't. But I'll watch every United game. So maybe some games will just be United focused. This weekend, I missed football a little bit more because of the international break. So I kind of watch more of the games. Sometimes I might be busy, might only watch United. So we'll see how it goes, man. Champions League is back tomorrow. So we'll be doing that. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, like I said, drop a like. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more of this, and we'll do some more. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys for another video. Maybe tomorrow we'll do some FC player review. So I'll catch you guys then. Peace.